Thompson, Chief Executive Officer of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, Mr. Keithley Phillip, Chief Executive Officer of the St. Christopher Air and Seaport Authority, Mr. Sly Boncamper, General Manager, Frigate Bay Corporation, General Managers of tour companies, General Managers of hotels, airline representatives, presidents of the taxi associations and cooperative, members of the COVID-19 task force, specially invited guests, members of the media, staff of the St. Kitts Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism. A pleasant good morning. We thank you for joining us for our first press conference with our Honorable Minister of Tourism. And at this time, I will invite Mr. Tommy Thompson to give brief remarks and also to introduce the Minister for her conference this morning.
Thank you, Mrs. Marshall. Good morning. I stand on protocol that's already been established, but I want to recognize the Honorable Minister of Tourism, International Transport, Civil Aviation, Urban Development, Employment and Labor, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, and our Attorney General, son of the Honorable Garth Wilkin, Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me take this opportunity to congratulate the Honorable Marsha Henderson on her appointment as the first female Minister of Tourism in St. Kitts. And Minister, I want to assure you that the St. Kitts Tourism Authority is behind you 100%, and we can make you look like a rock star. So, ladies and gentlemen, travel is on the rebound. After 2 years of restrictions, individuals are once again ready to take their favorite vacations and to their desired vacation destination. This does not necessarily mark the end of the COVID-19 situation, but I think we're turning the corner from a pandemic to an endemic. And with pent-up demand for travel, the industry itself is in sort of like a flux. So you have the desire for travel in terms of persons have saved money during the pandemic, so there's more cash and there's less credit card debt. So it's a perfect way for people to want to be able to go and travel to their favorite destination, and we see them upgrading their travel plans. But at the same time, the airlines are struggling to keep up with demand. I'm sure anybody who's watched the news over the summer can see the challenges that they have been having with the lack of crew and aircraft. But in addition, the cruise industry continues its efforts to modify its itineraries to make them shorter, and there have been political unrest somewhere and also climate change issues. But this has resulted in a marketplace that's even more competitive than it's been before. So it requires from the SKTA laser and surgical precision in our marketing efforts to ensure that the destination's voice is heard. So at the St. Kitts Tourism Authority, we're working with our partners to ensure that we are ready to meet the demands of a more discerning visitor. Over the past few weeks, we have partnered with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines to offer training geared towards building capacity of our service providers. We're also looking at the current landscape post-COVID-19 and to do what is necessary for St. Kitts to be visible and to be competitive with our products and our service offerings. In addition, we've fine-tuned our marketing plans, and in 2 weeks' time, we're going to be unveiling the new brand campaign for St. Kitts in New York, and trust me, you are going to love it. So with that, it takes great pleasure for me to introduce my new Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Marsha Henderson, to give her remarks. Minister?
Good morning, all. First, permit me to apologize to my guests for my tardiness this morning. I ran a bit late and I apologize again. Allow me to recognize this morning in our presence the Honorable Garth Wilkin, Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs. The CEO, Mr. Thompson, and my Deputy CEO, Melnesia Marshall, the Assistant Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Ms. Diane Taylor-Williams, and the CEO of SCASPA, Mr. Keithley Phillip, as well as the general managers here this morning of tour companies, the general managers of the hotels, airline representatives, presidents of the taxi associations and cooperative, our specially invited guests, forgive me, and members of the media. Good morning again. First, let me start by thanking all of you for joining us this morning at this, my first press conference since officially taking office on Monday, 15th August 2022. Over the past 2 years, our country, along with the rest of the world, has been fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. However, the time has come for us to look towards our future and identify the opportunities for us to strengthen our tourism industry and rebuild the economy. This morning, I will offer a brief update on my recent trip and some other tourism-related factors. After 2 years of travel restrictions, people are ready to travel again. The global tourism stakeholders are excited about what is going to be happening. Travelers are seeking destinations that offer immersive cultural experiences that go beyond sand, sun, and sea. According to the American Express 2020 Global Travel Trends Report, 74% of individuals are willing to book a trip, even if they may have to cancel or modify it. The report also indicated that 81% of travelers are desirous of traveling to destinations where they can have genuine cultural experiences and immerse themselves in the local culture. They are willing to spend 2 more times on a vacation than they did before the pandemic. Now, this is exciting news for us, as St. Kitts can offer rich experiences steeped in culture and history. This is our goal, as it would boost the economic impact of our tourism industry. We must, however, diversify our experiences by identifying immersive cultural products and services that will increase the demand for our destination. The diversification of our experiences will require intense collaboration with our local sectors, such as agriculture and sports. We cannot look at our product offerings the same way we did 2 years ago. Our visitors want to see and feel an authentic St. Kitts where they can engage with us and not simply be observers. Your Labour-led government firmly believes that our travel industry has suffered enough due to restrictions that the former administration had in place. This is why one of our first courses of action upon taking office was to lift all travel restrictions. The sentiments echoed by the global tourism stakeholders in response to this course of action is solid proof that the St. Kitts government, the vision that we have for strengthening our economy and saving our industry, is indeed the best plan for the country. We have, as a country, struggled to remain competitive in the tourism markets as a result of the stringent travel restrictions we were previously compelled to operate under. Thanks to your new government, this struggle is now history. To take our destination forward, it is time to combine our efforts to continue the rebuilding process. Later this month, the St. Kitts Tourism Authority will be launching a new campaign in New York on September 20th to increase visitor interest in our destination. This new campaign will ensure that St. Kitts features in all arenas as one of the premier Caribbean destinations for travelers. Our marketing efforts, coupled with our ability to deliver award-winning experiences, is paramount to our success. This was evident in our most recent accomplishment, where we were recently awarded by the World Travelers Awards as the Caribbean's leading dive destination. I take this opportunity to congratulate you, the stakeholders, my team at the Ministry of Tourism and the St. Kitts Tourism Authority on this success. I am confident that your combined efforts, along with our strategic plan, will help us to provide unique, authentic experiences to all who visit our shores. During my recent meetings with the tourism industry stakeholders, concerns regarding airlift were raised. As the current situation stands, the number of persons flying into our country is reduced. This is because of some of our flights are seasonal, while others take a break during the summer months. For example, the American Airlines flight from Charlotte and the Delta flight out of Atlanta are currently on break. However, as we look towards the winter season, I'm pleased to confirm that all of our legacy carriers will be returning to our destination for the 2022-2023 tourism season. Ultimately, our goal is to increase airlift service to our destination. My team and I remain in constant dialogue with our airline partners, and next month, we will be engaging the stakeholders in the airline industry at the World Routes Conference to be held in Las Vegas during the period 16th to 18th October. During this conference, we intend to discuss solutions for our airlift challenges with the decision makers of our international legacy carriers and continue discussions with potential new carriers. We need to combine our marketing efforts to promote the destination, our destination, holistically. To you, the stakeholders, I'm imploring to you to include marketing in your budgets, and not just marketing in the domestic market, but the regional and international markets as well. We all need to think big. Hoteliers, I am counting on you to ramp up your efforts to promote your hotels and all the many services you provide. Where there are opportunities for partnership, we need to seize them. The responsibility of our success is a shared one, and I am encouraging private and public sector partnership to secure the future of our tourism industry. We must all roll up our sleeves and actively become a part of the rebuilding process. As of September 5th, our destination welcomed 571 passengers for the 2021-2022 cruise season. I am very much aware of our dependency as a destination on the cruise sector, and this is because of its ability to generate economic activity. Now, this is why I am pleased this morning to announce that we will continue to experience positive outcomes in our rebuilding efforts into 2022-2023 cruise season. Post-COVID-19, there are, however, some changes within the cruise sector. During the pandemic, Carnival Cruise Lines experienced significant financial challenges, as was the case for many other international cruise partners. Hence, Carnival was forced to decommission some of its fleet, and the Carnival Fascination, launched 28 years ago in 1994, was retired and is no longer a part of the Carnival family. An additional challenge faced by Carnival is the inability to home port in San Juan, which was led to the decrease in their Eastern Caribbean itineraries. Last week, I had the opportunity to travel to Florida to visit the cruise lines. My team and I met with MSC, Norwegian Cruise Lines, Carnival Corporation, Royal Caribbean Group, and Virgin Voyages. All the lines have expressed great satisfaction with the destination and have committed to future sailings to our destination. During our conversations, they also highlighted additional challenges within the sector, which include delayed ship delivery and reducing carbon footprints as a part of the global efforts to combine climate change. To protect the environment, the lines are taking action to reduce fuel consumption, identify more sustainable forms of energy, such as liquid natural gas. This, in the short term, has led to shorter itineraries. However, despite these challenges, the destination remains poised for success. We have a projected 8 inaugural calls for the upcoming season, with Wonder of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's newest vessel, calling on Thursday, 24th November, 2022. We will certainly be looking forward to this call and will be enlisting the help of the public to give our visitors a warm Kitishan welcome. Recent reports have indicated that our cruise visitors are satisfied with the Kitishan experiences. If we can give ourselves a round of applause. However, if we are to remain competitive and attract new visitors, we must be creative and develop more diverse and immersive products and services. For the upcoming 2022 and 2023 cruise season, we anticipate that we will double the arrivals of the previous season and begin to draw closer to pre-pandemic levels. However, with the COVID-19 still an issue, the situation continues to have some level of fluidity. I will be sure to provide updates on the progress of the season in the future in future press conferences. Focus on growth in the expenditure of our visitors leading to increased economic activity will be paramount as we move forward. Guests are looking for memories in more than just physical items. They want authentic encounters with the island that tell the Kitishan story and reflect our spirit as a people and our history and culture leading to a more enriched experience with our destination. I must reiterate the need for us to be innovative and creative while at the same time maintaining our high standards. Investment in our existing infrastructure is a critical element as well of our strategy. The St. Christopher Air and Seaports Authority has advised that important upgrades will be made to the air and seaports. At the Robert Llewellyn-Bratcher Airport, the larger aircrafts are parking on the more western end of the apron. This has resulted in a less than welcoming experience for our air passengers. As Minister, I have taken note of this situation, and we're moving expeditiously to have the apron repaired. SCASPA has also advised that tender documents are currently being prepared to obtain quotes to resurface the apron. In addition, efforts are underway to improve the experience at the airport by making both the air conditioning units and escalators operational by the end of this month. Yeah. Yes, Nadia. The airport, as you're aware, needs expanding and modernizing as its footprint has become inadequate to sustain the operational and security requirements expected from an international airport. Given this, SCASPA has developed a master plan for the airport with renderings of a modernized facility that includes added capacity and the maximizing of available land at the existing location. This upgrade is planned to be executed in a phased approach, so as not to impede the existing operation. Funding for this project is expected to come from a CBI alternative investment program. More details would be provided in a subsequent report as plans are finalized. When Port Zante was initially constructed, it was the envy of the Eastern Caribbean. In 2011, we proved that we had one of the few piers in the Caribbean with the capacity to accommodate the state-of-the-art Oasis-class vessels. Today, our competitors have studied us, and they are building ports to be more competitive. Therefore, there is a need once again to complete work to ensure that our ports are technically outfitted to maintain our leading status as a port. Dredging on Pier 2 has been completed, and preventative dredging on Pier 1 is ongoing. It is expected that dredging works would be completed before the commencement of this year's cruise season in October. In addition, fenders for Pier 1 were ordered and are estimated to arrive in time for December of this year. As we embark on this post-COVID-19 era, there are many lessons to be learned, and there is much that is required of us. We must not throw caution to the wind. Every effort must be made to offer our visitors safe and refreshed experiences. We must be innovative, and we must be competitive. There are many destinations out there clamoring for their piece of the pie. The questions before us are, 1, how can we be heard in the noise of the marketplace? How do we differentiate? How do we create a perception of value? How do we increase spend and economic impact? I would like to suggest that we become more innovative, that we diversify our tourism product and service offerings. We definitely need to think outside of the box. We need to pay attention to service quality standards, and we absolutely need to invest in our infrastructure. We must guard ourselves from offering a stale product. We must draw on our history and culture and present to our visitors an authentic Kittitian experience. These are what visitors want. Let me say, this is what the visitors are demanding. We must safeguard our industry against mediocrity and those who would seek to destroy it. I am counting on each of you today to assist me in building a brighter tomorrow. I would like to take this opportunity at this time to wish SCASPA happy 29th anniversary as they celebrate with their month of activities in September. I want to thank you for listening, and at this time, I will take questions, of course, myself and my competent team, reminding you, of course, that I've just been on the job for 3 weeks. So this morning, I am going to be ably assisted by my team in answering any of the questions that I may not be in a position to answer. So thank you again, and at this time, we will take questions.
Good morning to everyone. Glenn Bart from SK Newsline. As you indicated, there's going to be a requirement to be innovative in your marketing strategies. Could someone explain to us, when you use the term innovative, what exactly are you doing to attract more visitors to the country? Secondly, could there be an update on the situation with regards to land-based tourism? I remember some months ago there were issues with regards to accommodation, the amount that was available available to tourism. So has that changed? Are there more rooms available now than it was perhaps a year ago, when some properties were under construction, some properties were under renovation, etc.? In regards to the airport, could there be some more specific details with regards to what is required at the apron reconstruction, what the cost is going to be, who is going to be involved in that whole process? And also, in regards to the cruise pier, what was the cost involved in dredging, the whole process of dredging the 3 piers that I understand were involved? That's it for now. Thank you.
Good morning, thank you. In terms of innovation, there are 2 aspects of that. One is to make sure that the product offerings in St. Kitts are new, fresh, and innovative. So we're having internal discussions about what we as the Tourism Authority and the Ministry of Tourism can work on in conjunction with the private sector to make that happen. When in the minister's speech, she talked about the authentic Kittitian experience. I think this is where we want to concentrate on how we can put together a program or an experience where that comes to life. And that also brings in the aspect of community-based tourism, where we're able then to get the community involved in what we're doing. It's not for, the idea is for us to generate new experiences, but also to make sure that the wealth from tourism is generated through the economy and to the more rural areas in terms of that. When we look at the new advertising campaign, we're incorporating a lot of the Kittitian element in terms of the beauty, the topography of St. Kitts. But what we're also doing is not only just the ad, but we're also putting together social content where we've got Kittitians telling their story. So the ad brings you to our website where you can get a deeper experience, where the story of St. Kitts and what's available in St. Kitts is told by Kittitians. And we think what we put together is very powerful. It draws you in to make you want to learn more about what's going on in the destination. When we look at land-based tourism, the number of rooms still is a challenge for us. We've got the Ramada that is proposed to come on board. I think the most recent that we've had is the Sunset Reef, which is the most recent hotel that's come on stream. But in terms of the actual number of rooms between St. Kitts and Nevis, it's still not sufficient in terms of us being in a more favorable position to get the airlines to consider us. When we look at the airlift coming into St. Kitts, we have peaks and valleys. But when you look at the overall load factor, it's still behind that of our competitors in the Caribbean, which is a challenge for the airlines to look at, given its bigger aircraft or increasing frequency. And that is part of what we want to address in terms of the new campaign that we're doing. So, to answer your question, I think we have all the pieces in place for us to move forward for a very robust season coming up for the winter. Then I have to turn over to my counterpart from Casper to answer about the airports.
Thank you very much, Tommy. Good morning, all. By adoption of the protocol that was previously established, I wish to answer the question that was posed by Mr. Bat. Number one, as it relates to let me start with the cruise pier. You asked the cost of the dredging. The cost of the dredge is $1.9 million US. And that would include the dredging of all 3 piers. Initially, the projected depth was 11.3. However, at the end of the work that was done previously, probably about 2-3 years ago, it was my understanding that it was around 10 thereabout. The dredge work has taken it down to 11.3. So we are compliant in respect to the required depth from the Oasis class vessels. I'm also happy to inform at this time that currently, with the dredge work that was completed, all sides of our piers can berth the Oasis class ship. That for us is an extremely important achievement. As it relates to the airport, the cost and who is going to be involved, I cannot say, because as was informed, the tender documents are being prepared, and it will be from the tender documents that we will have an idea as to the cost, and also the winner of the person whose tender bid would be successful. Then at that time, we could say who would be involved. So as to the question, cost and who's going to be involved, we cannot at this time say, as the tender documents are yet to go out. Then your first question would have been the specific details. All right, what I can say here is that in 2013, the French company, Aegis, was contracted to do a feasibility study and a master plan for the Robert Llewellyn Bratcher International Airport. It was also my understanding that that was completed. However, move forward 7, 8, 9 years later, the airport then, as to what the requirement then, as to what the requirements are now, has shifted somewhat. And so last year, we approached Aegis again to revise the initial plans that was done. Those plans were received, and we were able to review them. At this time, we sent the plans to the minister, but we have not yet had the opportunity to finalize a discussion. And so I'm not sure as to how much more details I can get into without the approval. However, let me say that because of the tightness of the space at the airport, any expansion at that current spot has to be done westward. We realize that it cannot be done towards the east, because that is essentially a dead area. So any expansion has to be both forward or backward, and to the east, and to the west. Thank you very much, and to the west. So those are the considerations that were taken into account. Also taken into account was the movement of the arrival and the departure areas. We realized that passengers now have this long walk to the aircrafts. The plan suggests that the arrival and departure areas would move towards the west, so as to shorten the distance between leaving the airport and arriving at the aircraft. There will also be the movement, the proposed movement of the shed, the cargo shed. We know where the cargo shed is. There's also the proposed movement of the cargo shed from that spot to create additional space and to move that cargo shed somewhere towards the west. So these are some of the details. And again, and these are just broad, and until that discussion can be held and whatever necessary approval is given, then we would be able to come back to you and to give you more specific details. Thank you very much.
Well, we welcome the international flights back for the winter season. What are the plans to drive interregional travel? Because, may have persons coming from internationally that may go to other islands that may want island hop. But we know we have a challenge with very few flights coming here regionally. So what's the plans to address that?
So a couple of things. Traditionally, the Caribbean was the second most important market for St. Kitts. It's also a market that's, a lot of it is event-driven. So when we look at the flights coming in, we've got Liat, we've got Winair, we've got Silver. It's not enough airlift coming in. So we are in discussion with other carriers in terms of giving us additional inter-Caribbean airlift. But we've also been in discussion with a ferry service that but we're hopeful that it will commence by the end of this year, or even before. So that's going to give us some additional lift into St. Kitts. We're also going to be promoting very heavily our events like the cricket and also the music festival. We see these as great opportunities for us to get regional traffic back here. And the beauty about that is a lot of those charter, so we're not that dependent on the scheduled carriers, but they're coming in by charter, so that's going to help us as well. And we're going to be putting some dollars aside as well for a limited regional campaign with the new content that we're getting.
Hello? Can you hear me? Beautiful. On the question of innovative measures, those that you were alluding to, some time ago, discussion centered around the reason why is the ships were leaving that early and not staying over later during the evening. And the suggestion was that there are no entertainment to attract the guests or to induce the ships to stay overnight. And so I'm wondering if there was any question posed, any initiative that could be taken to put an entertainment package in place. So you can market that when you go to the trade shows, to encourage the ships or the cruise lines to stay over in the evening. We have the entertainers here. And we don't mind partnering with tourism with whatever package we can produce to induce a longer stay for the ships when they're in port. Secondary to that, you spoke about community-based tourism packages, stakeholders. There is the story of Sandy Point. That's featured on YouTube and Facebook. And it's currently featuring an expose on Charles Fort / Johansson Home. You can visit that page. On YouTube, it's on the story of Sandy Point. Sorry, on Facebook, the story of Sandy Point. On YouTube, it's on the King Socrates Presents. There's tremendous interest in using these heritage sites. But it's off the main, and we focus mainly at Brimstone Hill. There's a linkage there that can be used. I'm speaking with the folks at the Heritage Trust to see what we can do to incorporate that as part of a package, because the history in Sandy Point can be enhanced and sold as an additional feature. Downing Street, Pump Bay, incorporate that in our packages as suggestions. So I have no problem liaising with Ms. Taylor to further develop potential packages to attract or add to a tourism package. But the feature about overnighting or providing entertainment that would encourage the cruise lines to overnight, that should be pursued. And again, being an entertainer, I would love to be part of that discussion. Thank you very much.
My name is Richard from the Park Hyatt. Tom, I have one question for you. Have we ever considered gauging guest sentiments and on how they feel about the experience here in St. Kitts? And Mr. Phillips, thanks for the update on the airport. Would the master plan include an interior passageway to the aircraft on and off, or will it always be an exterior experience?
So let me just quickly answer the sentiment. Yes, we do that already. We have an exit survey that's conducted with departing passengers at RBL. And so that's where we get the information from about their sentiment and also the reason for visiting. And also we get information on spend. So that's already done.
Just what does it say? What does it tell you, Tom, in terms of how they feel about the experience?
The experience has always been extremely positive in St. Kitts. And one of the great features that we like about it is the fact that once they visit, they're intending to recommend St. Kitts to their family and friends to visit as well, and also the fact that they intend to return. So it's good information, and it's very positive information as well.
That's something that we share with the stakeholders?
Yeah, we do. Come to our meetings.
Yes. I think your question was whether or not there would be, if the plan envisage an interior passage or an exterior passage to the aircraft. An exterior passage to the aircraft is what is envisaged in this plan. I'm not sure going forward that may be a consideration, but for now, this specific plan still speaks to boarding by moving on the tarmac.
Yes, everyone, good morning. I like the questions very much. I just wanted to add that the way to the aircraft, to and from the aircraft, should be added in the plans immediately. I think that we have come this far where we have to wait on the rain, yes, until the rain has stopped to board or, well, to embark and to disembark. And so that should be put in place immediately. And I know we will talk about dollars, but if we're doing a package, yes, let us dig deep and make sure that we all can get that benefit. I remember when the airport was upgraded, the talk about the escalators were mentioned, and someone say, oh, we don't need that, we are so close by. And of course, they were put there, and when they're down, we suck our teeth. We are vexed that, that they're not working. So let us put away the umbrellas to and from the aircraft. Thank you.
I'd like to support the views with regards to the, the modernization of the airport. Let's consider doing it properly now rather than later, because it's not going to get any cheaper. So you might as well consider it at this point. My other question, though, is relation to the yachting industry. Some years ago, there was some interest being generated in pursuing a yachting industry in St. Kitts. We have the marina that's downtown, and we have the Christopher Harbour Marina. What is the focus now with regards to that industry? Is there any hope for it? I know BVI and St. Vincent, I believe, have strong yachting industries. Can we gain something from pursuing that?
Thanks for the question. Yes, we do see yachting as a pillar for St. Kitts, but you have to remember, initially coming out of the pandemic, we had to survive, so we were in survival mode. I think we've got the wind at our backs now, so we are now looking at what are those additional markets, those additional niche markets that we can go after. And there has been considerable work done on the yachting industry, and we intend to take that up shortly. In fact, conversations have already begun, and our product manager, Golda Franks, has been instrumental in that. There were a couple of challenges that we saw in the reports that we need to bring the other stakeholders in to make sure that there's ease of entry into St. Kitts. Because the last thing you want is to start promoting the industry and we don't have the groundwork done to make it easy and for people to come very easily and also recommend. So yes, it's definitely on the radar, and stay tuned.
We're very quiet this morning. No other questions?
You're being gentle.
If there are no, okay.
Morning, everyone, and I must congratulate Ms. Marsha, our new Minister of Tourism, Girl Power. I would like to hold you. Well, sorry, I'm representing Palm Branch Media, SKN Newsline, and I want to hold you to marketing. I was happy when you said that. When you implore everyone to hold marketing in their budget, because that's one of the things I myself noticed that people don't do. They don't hold marketing, they don't have a marketing budget. You know, it's always the child that gets the squeeze. And I do look forward to working with the St. Kitts Tourism Authority in terms of the marketing, and we have some services that we can lend to you, especially when it comes to New York and as well as some of the cable companies around the world.
Thank you. Any other questions before we ask Minister to give her closing? No other questions. Just one quick announcement. The October cruise schedule will be available at the St. Kitts Tourism Authority desk. And so those who are interested in identifying the ships arriving for October, that schedule is available. We will also be producing the cruise booklet that is normally produced, and so that is going to be available by the end of the month. And we are also going to be loading the schedule on our landing page, and we will provide information on that as well. So if there are no other questions, yes, Mr. Bright, you're being our champion today.
Just one other question. I recall that there was some kind of financial arrangement in terms of airlift with some of the airlines, British Airways, American Airlines, and several others. Are we still going down that road in terms of guarantees for seats and that kind of thing? What is the current situation?
We do have some in place, and when we're looking to introduce new airlines and new routes, that is going to definitely have to be part of the negotiation. Unfortunately, you can't get away from that.
Yes, just another suggestion. I've often wondered why there isn't a better marriage between tourism and the hotels. I don't understand why during a carnival season we can't see examples of the costumes in the hotel lobbies, where you can have a synergy with the hotels and getting troops, people coming in to take part in the carnival tours downtown. Because once you market those pictures, you can't pay for the mileage. Imagine a family have children downtown in carnival costume. This is something we can discuss. Get, say, maybe the Marriott versus the Timothy Beach Hotel to get their guests, give them packages incentive to take part in a carnival. It's the winter season, they're here. There should not only be spectators, but a program in place during the marketing, they can take part in a carnival and be given incentive packages. Because those pictures, when they put them on the various platforms, is major marketing. They should be while they're here in St. Kitts, Nevis, or carnival season, in the hotel lobbies, costumery, all the different things that help to market a carnival. Not only the masquerades performing for them at Port Zante, but there can be a bit of marriage between the hotel industry and our carnival. Right here, we can start the marketing. Just a thought.
That sounds like a business sir.
Well, for sure, we have some of the hoteliers in the room, and we can certainly pass that information on to the Carnival Committee so we can see what can happen. Any other questions before we wrap up? Mr. Bart, you have one other one? I'm teasing you now. If not, then I'll invite Minister now to give her closing remarks, and we can bring an end to the press conference.
So again, I want to thank you all for coming out this morning, and I want to give my commitment as your new minister to ensure that I do all that it takes to make sure that at the cabinet level that I advocate for measures and solutions that would take the tourism industry further. I want to let you know that I have an open door policy. If you have any questions, concerns, you can come to the ministry and we can dialogue. In the future, you would be hearing from us in ways that we want to partner with you to ensure that we work together, we partner together on creating the authentic Kittitian experience that our guests are asking for. I thank you, Mr. Hodge, for the information on the story of Sandy Point, and we are absolutely looking for more of that. And so you're going to be hearing from us. We're going to be partnering with you to ensure that we can deliver on this. So again, thank you for coming. It's my first, and y'all have been generous to me, and I thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day.